So, my name is Kayla. I'm from the Braille Institute. Today's class is Amazon Alexa, so that you all kind of have some knowledge about Alexa because you use it as a community. Do you all have one in your home?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to be talking about the Alexa for low vision usage. Normally I start out by kind of giving a description of how Alexa works, but does everyone here sort of understand the basis of that? It's all set up for you guys. You have it connected to your internet and to a smart device? Yes, no? So with Alexa, the way that she works is she connects, and she's going to listen every time I say it. Alexa. Okay, just making sure she's on. So she works by connecting to the internet, so to your Wi-Fi here, as well as to a smart device. So the smart device that she connects to, that isn't something that's necessary to set it up, so maybe not all of you here have it set up with a smart device. Does anyone know if they do? Like, do you have it connected to maybe your iPad, an iPhone? Have you ever logged into the account on the internet? No. Okay, so yes, a couple. Okay, so a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about for Alexa that are low vision, you set up on maybe an iPhone or on an iPad in an app called the Alexa app. And the Alexa app looks something like this when you open it on the home page. So it's an application that you download onto your phone or onto your iPad.
I can't look. Need a little longer look. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So this is like the front page of it. And does everyone here have a smartphone? So a phone that they can use to connect to the internet, or an iPad or a tablet? No. Chuck, do you have something like...
Usually the chaplain sets them up.
Okay.
Using the Alexa app is the chaplain's.
Okay. Oh, so are they all connected? Alexa, stop. I'm just going to stop calling it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to call it Echo. So we're going to call it Echo from here on out.
Okay.
So the Echo connects to your internet and to a smart device. So if you don't have a smart device, you can do the same thing online on it's AmazonAlexa.com. So that is the way that you pull up this application. So does everyone understand what applications are and how to download those and put those on phones and iPads? No. So when you have a smart device like an iPad or like a smartphone. So when we talk about smartphones, they're not necessarily just cell phones. So they can't be those flip phones like the Cricket wireless ones. A smartphone has to connect to the internet, and then it normally has some sort of smart software on it. And then also you can connect to something called an application store, an app store. So on Apple phones, it's called an app store. On Google phones, it's called a Google Play Store. People who have Androids, that's called something else. But all of those different smartphones have somewhere where you can go in and download this application onto that device. Okay? So does everyone here have, other than Chuck, iPhones or iPads?
I think they mostly rely on family or staff.
Okay.
For everything you're talking about.
Do you use an iPhone or an iPad regularly at all? Yes, yes, yes.
What is the simplest between, you say iPad or you say tablet?
Whatever. I'm just wondering if you have any of them. Do you ever open up an iPhone or an iPad? You've never.
No.
Okay.
And
Do you have any of them laying around your house, like a granddaughter bought it once and you just never used it?
She has a fire.
I have a fire candle.
Perfect. Okay.
So is that considered like a tablet?
Yeah, the Fire Kindle can download, I think, the Amazon application. Do you use a computer?
No.
No. Okay. So you just might want to do this have a friend do it on a computer for you, just for the setup. Because realistically, if you're not using an iPhone or an iPad regularly, you don't need to add that. Really, unless you use one regularly, you bring it around with you, it is helpful to have that little application on it. You can do some extra things. But if you're not using a phone or an iPad or a tablet regularly, don't worry about it. Don't add it to your life. You can do all of these things by setting it up on your application online. So someone else can set this stuff up for you. Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to use the computer to use it, because.
You do not have to use the
Just
computer
to
to use
put
it,
on
just to
there.
get the setup sometimes.
Okay,
So some
okay.
of the things that I'm going to talk about, they just need to be set up through this.
Okay.
And if you don't want to do that and you just want to tell someone to do it for you, absolutely fine. So the way that it works and the reason you can do it on the computer as well as on this application you've downloaded on your phone is you have a username and a password. So whoever set up your Alexa originally set up a username and a password for you to log into that Alexa. So that's your specific account information. That's how they track everything that you've done. So then every time you say, Alexa, play jazz music, good, she didn't listen. Every time you say, play jazz music, then she's going to go back to all the other times you said it before and play it from that same station. So it's tracking you through this account information, okay? So that's going to be an email address and a password. Do you not know that because someone else set it up for you, right? Okay. So do you have the Alexa app on your phone? Do you use that or no?
I have the app on.
You have the app, and do you use it to connect it with yours, or you've never used it?
Very much.
Okay, so that might be the first step for you all, is to ask the person that set it up to log you in to that application on your phone, and then you can start to add these things. But I'll just kind of explain the things for you as we're moving on, and then you can just take note of what you want to start doing and then set it up that way. And some of this stuff you don't have to set up, and you never have to use the app to use. So the way it's just plugged into the wall and you talk to it, that's fine. You don't need to do anything else other than that. So that email address and that password, that's connected to an Amazon account. Do you all use like Amazon to order packages at all? To order things online ever? No? So if you do use Amazon to order things, that's that same account, email, and password that you use to order things with. So that is what she's connected to. So to the internet, and then she's connected to your smart device. So the reason that she connects to your smart device, if you do use one, like your cell phone, mine's connected to my cell phone. What she does is she'll take all of that information off of your smart device and she can access it. So if you use an iPhone, you have a contact list in your iPhone, sort of like a contact book or a phone address book that you would write people's names and addresses down. On an iPhone, that's a digital contact book. So you can add people's names, their addresses, their phone numbers. If you use a phone, I'm sure that you use that. And that's how you call people. So you, rather than typing in people's number, you can do that as well. But if you've saved their phone number or something along those lines, you can just go find Chuck, press on Chuck, and it's going to call his connected phone number to that account. So when you connect your phone to the Alexa, the first thing I'm going to talk about that's really helpful for people with low vision is she can actually make phone calls. So have you all set that up or used phone calls at all with the Alexa you're using now?
It's available here, but most people don't use it.
Okay, so it's available.
Give up, Jack.
And so either you can add contacts separately through this application. So if you don't have a phone, don't worry about it. You can still add people to the contacts when you go on this application online. Or if you sign in on your cell phone, then it's going to pull all of the contacts that you have on your cell phone, and that's who it's going to connect to. So now if I say, Alexa, call mom.
I found a contact matching Mom and Pina's contacts.
Can you hear
Is
that?
who you want to call?
No.
Sorry, I couldn't find other contacts matching Mom.
So did you hear her? She said, I found a contact matching mom in your contacts. Is that who you want to call? And if I were to say yes, which I didn't because I just got off the phone with my mom and she'll be confused. If I call her, then she will call my mom. My mom's voice will come on over that speaker and I can talk back and forth with my mom just with my voice on the speaker. So I don't even have to be holding my cell phone. I can put my cell phone outside this door and I can do that as well. And it's still going to call my mom. So that's something that's really helpful for people with low vision, because once you set up that contact list one time, so you can have a friend come over and do it, a family member. They just have to add maybe your top 10, 15 contacts in this contact list. Then all of those people that they've added, you can just, by your voice, say, call mom, call, Bobby. And it's going to bring up that phone number and it's going to call it through the speaker. And then you can have that conversation. When she asked me if mom is who I wanted to call, that's because if I have people in my contact list that say I know 2 Jacks, and I have one is Jack Parks and one is Jack Cummings, then when I say call Jack, it'll ask me which one I want to call. And then you can pick which one. So that's why it asks you first, you confirm, it calls the person gets the call on their phone, knows that it's from you if it's saved to their phone, and then they pick up and you talk. And once the conversation's over, you can say, Alexa, hang up, and then the call is ended and you go back to your normal life. Does that make sense to everybody?
Can you call Alexa to Alexa?
Great question. Yes. So Alexa to Alexa is great, especially since you all have Alexas here. That's going to be a better way to call, because something that it can't do when you're calling phone numbers is if I call my mom and she missed the call and she calls me back, that call isn't going to come through my Alexa. It's going to come through my cell phone, which sort of ruins the whole point of not needing to keep my cell phone right by me, right? So then I have to go find my cell phone again and pick it up and answer that way. If you're doing Alexa to Alexa phone calls, then it will actually ring through your Alexa and you can answer it that way. So that is a better option. The way that you add other Alexas is in the application. It's very similar to just adding regular contacts. And then so say that you want to call Jack and you have Jack's cell phone number as well as Jack's Alexa connected under his contact. It's going to ask you when you say call Jack, do you want me to call the cell phone or do you want me to call Alexa or whatever? And you'll get to decide then that you want to call his Alexa. So Alexa to Alexa calls is really nice. Another really cool thing along with the calling is if you have more than one Alexa device in your own home. Does anyone have more than one in their own home? Yeah. So something really great is that you can use it sort of like an intercom system. So you can go, rather than doing like calls from Alexa to Alexa, when they're all your Alexa. So the difference is you know how I just said that you have your own specific email address and password and that is your account. When you have your account and you have multiple devices, multiple different Alexas on that account, they're all connected under that same email address and password. Does that make sense? So that's how it deciphers that these are all yours and then this one's Sally's over here because they're 2 different accounts, right? So when you have multiple under your account, then you can just go from one to the other and contact them that way and do it like an intercom. So if they're all connected in your home, you can say I have this one titled Office, and I have another Alexa that's in my bedroom. If I'm in the office and I say, Alexa, I don't know how you would say it. I think you just say, Alexa, alert bedroom, Alexa, or something like that. Then it's just going to intercom back and forth between your Alexas. Does that make sense? That's sort of like phone calls. It's just like having an intercom system within your house. You can make announcements on all of them. So like if you want to make an announcement from this one and have it go in all your different Alexas, it will do it. And they'll all connect.
Yeah,
Does
I
that make sense?
think we're past where this group's going to be using it. But
Well, do you all have more than one Alexa?
most people don't. They most just have a dot.
Do you use one or multiple?
I just use one.
Just one.
I didn't, what's the,
Do you, in your home, when you use your Alexa, it's just one? Is it just
Yeah,
one?
just
You
one.
have one. One? Perfect. So then, ignore the last thing that I said altogether.
What's useful for them though is you can call any phone number if you know the number. Since our internal, some people are having trouble with the phone system we have. Apparently it's breaking down. Like Mike Holmes says he can't make phone calls. you can still make a phone call with the Alexa because it goes over the Wi-Fi. You can call any phone number, and if you program it, you can call for help by just saying, call front desk.
So that's how, when you add it to your contacts, and then you just go by those names. So if you log into your account on your phone, that application that you just pulled up, if you log in with your email address and your password, it's gonna automatically take all of the people that you call in your phone and their names, and then you can immediately start saying, Echo, call Jack, Echo, call Sally. And that's gonna work as long as your internet's working. You can call anybody on that. So they don't have to have an Echo. So if your son doesn't have one of them and you wanna call his cell phone, you can call your son's cell phone. But it is also an option that you can do. One Alexa, he can call your Alexa, and you can call his Alexa. The only difference is that when you're calling Alexa to Alexa, if you get a phone call, you can answer it with your Alexa. If your son doesn't have an Alexa and he calls you, you cannot pick up. Only outgoing calls to regular phones, not incoming. Does that make sense? So Alexa to Alexa is outgoing and incoming. Alexa to cell phones, Alexa to home phones, landlines, only outgoing phone calls. Okay? Okay.
A
So
response from an Amazon customer
Alexa,
about cell
stop.
to Jackson.
Charles, wake up.
So Alexa can make phone calls. So that is, I would say, one of the best things, because a lot of people want to be able to make phone calls with their voice,
Yeah.
be able to have those contacts, because it's hard to look through that contact list and dial the number and always have your phone by you. So like he said, in an emergency, if you can't get up, if you are stuck on the couch, if you're on the floor, you can just yell and have her call somebody. So that's really, really great. So phone calls is the first main thing. Another thing that you can do on Alexa that's very cool is replacing something like a calendar or your alerts, your alarms. Alexa can replace that, because when you have low vision, it's really difficult to write on a calendar and read that back. So maybe you put that you had a doctor's appointment on the 6th, but now when you look at the 6th, you can see that there's something written there, but you have no idea what it says. Same with times of day. You know that there was an Alexa class today, but you looked on your calendar and you have no idea what time it's at because you can't read it. Or you don't know what time it is because you can't read the clock and you don't even know what time it is during the day. So Alexa can replace all of those things. So something that's cool is you can just say, Alexa, what time is it?
It's 11:22 a.m. Hope you
Anytime.
enjoy the sun today.
Thank you. That was very nice. So anytime, anywhere you are, ask her what time it is. You can ask her what day it is. You can ask her what the weather is. So all of those things are super simple to use. Don't have to do any setup in your app. She just does it automatically. Another thing is replacing the calendar. So say that I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow at 10. I can say, Alexa, add a doctor's appointment tomorrow at 10 to my calendar.
That's doctors on Saturday, September 7th at 10 a.m., right?
Yes.
Okay, I've added that.
Now, when I say, Alexa, what's on my calendar for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, there is one event. At 10 a.m., there's doctors.
So you can do that. So you can do that for anything. I can say, what's on my calendar for this week? What's on my calendar for this month? What's on my calendar for December 25th, 2019? Any of those things she will read you, as long as you have put it in the calendar.
Does it automatically give you a reminder? A lot of people here have trouble with their memory. And
Reminders is something separate, and we'll talk about that after I explain the calendar setup and how you do the calendar. So when you add things to your calendar, imagine it's just like adding it to your written calendar. Your written calendar is not going to yell at you that you have an appointment at 10, but when you look at it, you'll see it's on the calendar. So when you add things to this calendar, a good idea is just every morning when you wake up, Alexa, what's on my calendar today? Nothing.
There are no events scheduled for the rest of the
I
day.
didn't put anything on today, but if you had put something on, obviously she will tell you everything that's on your calendar for that day. So this is when the app comes in, because the only reason mine's adding it to a calendar is because I already have that set up on my application. So this is something that you all are going to have to add to your application. So this is something that someone else can do for you, but I'm going to explain the way that it works just so you have a little bit of an idea. So the way that it works is there are multiple digital formats of calendars. So you use an iPhone, right? Do you ever use that calendar on your iPhone?
Not very much.
No, not very much. So if you ever use it, then it's if you connect your Alexa to that calendar, everything that you put in that calendar on your iPhone, Alexa's going to read off. Okay? So that's an option. So the calendar that is on your iPhone or your iPad, you can sync it to that, and you're going to do that through your Alexa app. You have to give it permission to link to that calendar. Another option is if anyone here uses a Google email. Does anyone here use a Google email, a Gmail? No. So that's another option of how to do it. So you can create a Gmail and create that calendar. So once you create that calendar, you never have to touch it again. You can just, with your voice, add things and it's going to add it. You never even have to log back into that calendar. You never have to pull it up with your site, ever, unless you want to. The cool thing is if I had a client who had a Google email, she had a Google calendar, and what she did was she had a friend who used to come over every week and write on her physical paper calendar what was on the schedule for the month or the month ahead, right? So rather than having that friend write on the calendar that she couldn't see anymore, she had her friend type in the Google Calendar, which is an online calendar, every event for that week. And that automatically, once you type it in that day, that automatically links to your Alexa. So if I go into my calendar right now and type in that I have an appointment today at 10, and then I ask her what is on my calendar at 10, she's going to tell me the appointment that I just typed in without me adding it with my voice. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit of a simpler way to add things rather than adding it with your voice all the time. So as things come up, you can just say it to her and she can add it. But if you have a full month calendar, or like for activities, if you get the full week in advance and you want to go in and put that in, you can do that either on your phone, you can have a friend do it for you on the computer. So whatever way you want, you can type those things and then she will tell you about them. Does that make sense? And then also, the same works in the reverse. So if you share a calendar, say, with someone who has vision, and they look at your Google Calendar online and they read it with their vision, if you start adding things with your voice, Alexa types them into that online calendar. So then the person that's looking at it can see the same thing that you just said to her. So it works both ways. So once you set it up, this calendar is linked to that online calendar and everything goes back and forth and it's just a mesh of communication and they're always synced. Does that make sense? Okay, so that is how calendars work, which can be really, really helpful when you can't see the calendar. And like Jack brought up, then reminders. So that's a different thing. So if you add an event to your calendar, you can tell Alexa to remind you. So if I say, Alexa, add a class at noon today on my calendar.
That's class, today at 12 p.m., right?
Yes. Can you remind me for that class?
I'll schedule class, today at 12 p.m., okay?
Yes. Set a reminder.
I'll schedule class, today at 12 p.m., okay?
Okay.
Got her own mind.
Okay.
Okay, I've added that.
Alexa, remind me about my class today at 12 p.m.
Okay, I'll remind you at noon.
So now she's going to set a reminder at noon. So that's something that you can do. And again, you have to figure out how to say it to her. Obviously, she didn't listen the first 2 times that I told her because of the way that I said it. But if you want to set reminders, you can do that. You can do it for certain events. So you can set a reminder for those certain events. You can tell her to remind you 15 minutes before, or the day before, or the week before. And then something that I think is really cool is that you can set a reminder for something every Thursday at 4 o'clock. If for the rest of your life, every Thursday at 4 o'clock, you want to call your daughter, then you can say, Alexa, remind me every Thursday at 4 o'clock to call my daughter. Every Thursday at 4 o'clock, Alexa's going to blink. She's going to alert you. And she's
Sorry,
not.
I can only set repeating reminders daily, weekly or on weekdays or weekends.
Alexa, stop. So she is going to remind, and I actually have set that up before for other classes that I've taught. So now every Thursday at 4, I get a reminder to call my daughter that I don't have. So she's going to continue to do that every Thursday at 4 o'clock if you tell her. The thing about reminders that you have to remember is that if you're not using the application and if you're not looking at something physically, she doesn't remind you by saying what the event is. So she doesn't at 4 o'clock on Thursday come on and say, call your daughter. On Thursday at 4 o'clock, she's going to beep. She's going to make some sort of an alarm noise. There's going to be a color, like an orange color at the top of her, and it's just going to say, you have a reminder. You can ask her what it is, and then she'll tell you to call your daughter at 4. Or you can look on your application, and it will have it as an alert. But she's not going to come on at 4 and say, call your daughter. So that's the thing that you just have to remember, to ask her what the reminder is. You have to remember what that red light is. My boyfriend uses an Alexa, and he never even knew that was a thing. So the other day I was at his house, and his Alexa was flashing red for hours and hours, and I said, aren't you going to check that? And he's like, oh, I think it's broken. I don't know why it's doing that. And I was like, it's because you have a reminder. So you have to remember that that color at the top just means that you have an alert that you need to ask what it is. And it'll send you that. Sometimes Alexa will send you, like, the website will send you reminders, and it'll just be something silly like, oh, we're selling something new, or, you know, like a little commercial or something. But that's what the extra light means. Okay? So that's reminders, calendars, time, weather, alarms. If you wanted to set an alarm for you in the morning or at night, you can do that. You just say, Alexa, wake me up at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Alarm set for 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Which I'm not gonna like. Maybe, well, hopefully I'll be up by 10 o'clock. And so you can do that. And then also you can set daily routines. So that gets a little bit more complicated, but say every day that you wake up, you used to wake up and look at the Weather Channel and see the weather. You used to look at your clock, and you used to listen to NPR. You can have Alexa do a routine. So that's a setup that's going to happen in your phone. So that might be something that you need someone to help you with. But you can set a routine. So you can have her every day that you say, Alexa, good morning. She can read you the weather and give you the top news stories of the day. So that's called a routine, and you can set that up for her based on certain things that you say. So they give you different options of, like, Alexa, good morning, or if you want to do it every night, Alexa, good night, or it says other funny things. You can have her tell you a joke every time you say good morning. So those are just called routines that you can do as well. Okay? So that's kind of everything with time, calendar, weather, all of that good stuff. So replacing your phone calls, replacing your clocks, your alarms, your calendar, your reminders. It can do all of that for you. And then it can also replace things that you need to write down, like lists. So do you all write down like grocery lists, or do you go grocery shopping? Do you make Christmas lists? So sometimes when you start to lose your vision, writing down lists, especially for other people, can be really difficult because maybe they can't read it back to you. Or if you're sending someone out to the store, there was this gentleman whose wife went shopping for him every week and then would never buy him what he wanted because she couldn't read anything on the list. And so he kept getting very frustrated that she was never coming home with the things that he asked for. She couldn't read his writing. He couldn't really write because of his vision. So what we did was we replaced that writing list with using Alexa for your list. So in the application, and I'll show you it, there is a list section. So I'll show each of you. So this is the home page, okay? This is the menu, this top corner. when you come here, this is an option for lists, okay? If you go into this, I have a shopping and a to-do list, and you can create, oh, and I have a Costco list. So you can create any type of list. So this is the application. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Okay, so this is the home page of the application. If you press this little menu button, the second one says lists. This is my list option. So I have a shopping list, a to-do list, and a Costco shopping list. So these are all lists that I've created or that already exist. So from the home page, there's a little menu button. Click on this. Go to the second one. That one's called lists. Click on that. So shopping and to-do, that comes with the Alexa. I've added Costco shopping to decipher the difference. So you can, on the application, and this is also something that, so from the home page, there's a little menu button. You go to lists, and I have shopping, to-do, and Costco shopping. So this is something that, another thing you never have to use the app for. If you just want to use lists with your voice, perfect. Never have to use the app. But for the example that I'm using with this gentleman who was giving lists to his wife had this Alexa app. So what he did was he, with his voice, would add things to a shopping list. So he would say, Alexa, add oranges, apples, and peanut butter to my shopping list.
I have added oranges, apples, and peanut butter to your shopping list.
So he would do that. And then when she would pull up the application on her phone, go to lists, go to shopping list. Now it says peanut butter, apple, oranges. So it says what I just said, it types it, and it puts it on this list here. And now if I say, Alexa, take peanut butter off my shopping list.
I've checked off peanut butter from your shopping list.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but peanut butter disappeared. So peanut butter now isn't on this shopping list anymore. So I can do it with my voice, and it's going to type it. The same thing goes for the reverse, just like the calendar. How if you say something, it types it. If you type something, it says it. So now I'm going to go in. On my to-do list right now, I have nothing. It says add items, right? I'm going to add class. That's the only thing I'm doing today. Alexa, what's on my to-do list?
Your to-do list is empty.
So, well, you have to give her a second. Oh, it actually didn't save. Perfect. Alexa, what's on my to-do list?
You have one item on your to-do list, class.
So first there was nothing, then I added it and I saved it, and it says it on that. So you can do to-do lists, shopping lists, grocery lists, Christmas lists, birthday list, all add things with your voice. You can send it to people in the list form, you can have it read back to you verbally, you can add and subtract things, and that's really cool, especially for groceries or for things that just to remember. I just like to make lists all the time of things to remember, of like things I have to be doing. And then it's a lot easier than writing it down and not being able to read it back, or having a bunch of different papers that aren't organized. So that's another really cool thing that she can do for people with low vision.
Can you get your iPhone to talk to you?
Yeah.
When you get down to the store?
You can, yeah, you can. So if you are able to open this Alexa app, so if you have this on your phone and you're able to open this, there's this circle down here at the bottom. Do you see the circle in the center?
Mm-hmm.
So this blue circle in the center on the home page of the button. And what that circle does is if you click that, that makes this application act just like your Alexa. So then this application becomes an Alexa, and you're able, this little blue circle. So if I click this, and it's probably not going to work right now because my actual Alexa will listen to me, but I'm going to try. So if I press this, then it's going to work just like my Alexa, and I can do anything with my voice. So I have to set it up. Okay. What? Wait, can you hear it? It makes a noise too. What's on my shopping list?
You have 10 items on your shopping list.
Cool.
Here are the 5 most recent.
So
Apples,
everything that
oranges, AAA.
I don't want you to read it, please stop. So everything that I'm saying that you can do with your Alexa, if you're able to pull up this application on your phone while you're out and click that button, you can do all of the same exact things, all of them. So that is how that works. So great question, actually. I forgot to bring that up.
Our problem is we can't see
Right.
see that.
See the phone, yeah. So that is also a really good option, which I've actually never even thought of. So I'll start saying that in classes, because what I've been telling people is have someone that can read your shopping list or have it read back, but you can actually use your phone as an Alexa whenever you're out, once you have that app. And this doesn't work for any of you because you all own Alexas, but for family members that want to know if it'll work for them, even if you don't own an Alexa, so you don't own any of these devices, you can download this application, log in with a username and password, and you have all the same things on your phone. So then you can use that Alexa on your phone, so you don't even have to have a device. So that is for lists and shopping. And then some other things that I'm sure you all know, now like the more simple things that people sort of start with. You can do things like listen to music, listen to audiobooks, and get your news read to you on your Alexa. Do you all know how to do those things? Do you use
Sorry,
those?
I'm not sure about that.
Alexa doesn't know how to do it. So do you use those things at all ever? How about this? We'll rewind. What do you use your Alexa for right now? Mostly.
Music,
Music.
timer.
Wake me up.
Wake you up.
For the question of the day, and I like to hear a
Love the
joke,
question of the day.
and hear the weather, and things like that.
Okay, fun things.
We had one problem though, when we asked for music one time. If we didn't say Pandora, they put us on the Amazon music list, and that can be kind of a problem.
Yep.
Because then we got hooked on wanting to pay $3 a month.
Yeah,
Because
so-
we asked for one song, you know?
So that is something with music that it actually took me a really long time to figure out with other people that I was doing the Alexa with. So when you're using Alexa for music, her default is to use Amazon. So if you pay for Amazon Prime, which I'm not sure if any of you do because you don't order things.
Jack does.
So if you pay, and I'm sure you know this, if you pay for Amazon Prime and then you log in, like I said, remember that username, password, that's how Amazon's tracking you for everything. You're connected through all of that. If you log in with that username and password into your Alexa's now hooked up to Amazon Prime. That means, first and foremost, you can order stuff with your voice. So if I'm sitting at home and I want to order toothpaste, I can do that, and it's going to do it through my account, run my credit card. Kind of dangerous if you have people coming over and they're going to order stuff for you. My friends tried to do that to me. But you can order things. Second thing is music. So when you pay for Amazon Prime, you get more music channels than people who don't pay for Amazon Prime. But now, since the Alexa's become a thing, Amazon Prime has created this new thing called Amazon Music. So Amazon Prime and Amazon Music are two different things. How do you all you listen to Pandora?
Mm-hmm.
Do you all listen to online radio stations at all, like Pandora, Sirius XM, Spotify? No. So these are all online music services that people pay monthly subscription fees for, so about $10, give or take, and then you have unlimited access to all of the music that online platform has. So you can listen to any album that you want as long as that platform provides it. So you don't need to be buying every single album that you want to listen to. You just pay that monthly fee. You can listen to those albums. You don't own them, but you can pull them up whenever you want and listen to them just through that subscription fee. So those have existed before Amazon, but now Amazon has made their own subscription fee service called Amazon Music. And I think it's about $10 a month. I don't remember. Is it $10? So it's the same idea. If you're interested in paying for it, it's not a necessary thing to listen to music on your Alexa because Alexa can also go through free services. So Pandora is one that you can either pay for, or if you do it for free, you just have to listen to commercials every so often. And so how that works is another thing through your application. So Amazon's default is always going to be Amazon. So when you're listening to something and you say that you want to hear an Elvis Presley song, sometimes and honestly, I don't know why this happens, but sometimes that Elvis Presley song is free, and they're just going to play you that Elvis Presley song, and you're going to be happy, and the day is going to be over. Sometimes that specific song is not available for free, and they're going to say, do you want to buy Amazon Music, or do you want to purchase this on the iTunes store, or so on and so forth, to make you buy that music, because their default was always Amazon. But if you go into the application in your settings that I was showing you, and I'm not going to show you how to do it because you can just have someone help you, but you can go into your settings, and I'm going to pull it up so I can read you some of the options. You can add other defaults. So if you don't want it to just pull and ask you to spend money because you already pay monthly for Pandora.
I have an appointment.
Oh, thank you for coming. Because you already pay monthly for Pandora, then you can have it do Pandora as the default. So then when you start asking for music, it's going to automatically ask Pandora rather than asking Amazon. And some of those, and then you can add multiple. So there are other radio services that are free that you can add to, so you have a bigger collection, so it's going to search all of those before asking you if you want to buy the music. And let me give you some examples because I can't think of them.
I think Pat's problem was she started being charged against her will.
So that's an accident probably that happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's connected to your credit card. It already has your information. Maybe one time you were listening to music. You didn't hear it ask you if you wanted to start paying for Amazon Music. Boom, starts charging you.
Yeah.
Very common problem. I would say if you're not ordering things on Amazon, unconnect your credit card. Disconnect your credit card because then you can't make those mistakes.
Okay.
And that's going to happen in other things like the daily question now. I don't know if you've noticed, but at the end of the daily question now, it'll ask you if you want to pay for more. If you don't have a credit card connected, it can't charge you anything. So if that's something that happens to you, just unconnect because you don't need one to be using the service. So you can just disconnect. So for services for music, you can connect it to multiple. So I have mine connected to Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and something called TuneIn that was just free that I connected to. You just press link new services. You can do things like Apple Music, Vivo, Tidal, Pandora. There's a lot of different ones you can add. And then it's going to pull radio stations from all of those. So yeah, for the Amazon Music thing, I would say that's the trickiest thing, especially if that's something that you've used before, because I would say before this year, Amazon provided all the music for free. So if you asked for anything, it would play it automatically. Now they got tricky and they're starting to charge you for those things. So yeah, so that's what Amazon Music is. So the differences between Prime and Music is just that Music is that subscription fee and you just get access to more. Amazon just pulled things from Prime so that people would have to pay for the music, which is a huge bummer, but that's why that happens. But so when you ask it to play music, another tip that I have is just to ask for the most broad form. So rather than giving, a specific song that you want it to play, give it the genre or the artist.
Okay.
I would say genre over artist because even if you do artist, sometimes it makes you pay for that artist.
Yeah.
So then if you know the genre that the artist is, hopefully you'll get some songs in there. That's what you want. So I would say asking it to play genres is always the safest.
Okay, good.
So that's music. Games is another really cool thing you can do. You can do Jeopardy, which is great because it's 6 questions that they didn't use from the Jeopardy the night before. They're actual questions. You can play it every day. It updates. And I think that's another thing that charges you sometimes, so be careful. You can do Jeopardy, and you can do alerts, reminders, talked about that. Oh, music, books. What I was going to bring up is books. So do you all use audiobooks or audiobooks? What kind of audiobooks do you use?
I use the Braille.
Oh, okay. Braille tapes, very cool. Good, I'm glad. Anyone else use audiobooks? Anyone else want to use audiobooks?
Braille.
You use the Braille ones? So Braille doesn't connect to Amazon, unfortunately. Maybe one day we will connect to them, but Braille books, keep doing it the way you're doing it. That's our only way right now, unfortunately. Things that do connect to Amazon is if you're already using Kindle. Does anyone here use Kindle? So some of Kindle's books are audiobooks. Also, some of Kindle's books are readable by Alexa. So if it's not an audiobook, it's a book that she can read to you, and it's only some of them. if you have a Kindle and a Kindle account, you're going to go into your application, you're going to log in with your Kindle email address and password, and then it's going to link to your Kindle account, and then you can ask her, Alexa, what's on my Kindle bookshelf? And she will tell you every book that she can read on your Kindle bookshelf. So she's able to do that. Then you're able to listen to the books. You're able to pause, fast forward, skip chapters, rewind, all of that good stuff with your voice. The downside of Alexa reading Kindle, if you don't like her voice, that's the only voice you've got. So it's her weird little electronic voice. She pronounces things wrong. She doesn't do punctuation correctly. She doesn't inflect for stories. You just have to listen to her voice. So that's a bummer. So if you don't like that, there's a subscription service called Audible. Does anyone here use Audible?
Thank you.
Thank you. There's a subscription service and it's called Audible. And what that is if you pay, just like I was saying with the music, you pay a monthly fee. You get, depending on how much you pay, you get a certain amount of books you get read to you. And Audible's cool because it's kind of like the Braille one where it's like actual people reading their voice. Audible's even better than Braille because they're hired. So they have great voices and it's dramatic and they change for all the people. And yeah, it's really good storytelling. I think you can try it for free, but again, it's one of those things where you try it for free, but you put in your credit card, so then you forget to cancel it, and then they charge you the next month. So be wary of that, but that's something that also connects to her. So then you can just say, Alexa, read me my Audible book, and she'll start reading it. And then you can pause it and play it and rewind
Audible
it.
lets you experience books in a whole new way.
Let her
To try
say.
one, ask me to read The Hobbit or The Great Gatsby.
So you can just ask her to read certain books.
Is the larger, I forget what you call it. as long as
Echo.
you-
Echo.
Echo, is that a lot better sound?
Yeah, okay, so that's something that I skipped that I normally do in our intro because normally people don't even know what Alexa is. But so the difference so what Alexa is she's the voice. So she's the smart intelligent, she's who you address and who you talk to. And then there are different brands of the speakers, right? So there's the Show that has the screen. Mine's the Dot, the Echo Dot, and then the tower that you're talking about is the Echo. You can do all of these things on all of them that I'm telling you. The only difference between the tower and the Dot is sound quality. Sound, yes. The tower gets like 5-6 times louder than the maximum of this. Speaker quality as well. I'm not a person that notices speaker quality, so it's not noticeable to me, but the speaker quality of the tower is, I forget what they say. Something better. Like, it's better. It's better quality. You're getting better quality sound. But the biggest thing, the tower is louder. And also, so my Alexa is the 3rd generation, I think. And so the 3rd generation Dot gets a lot louder than the 2nd generation Dot. And they're even about the same price right now. So, yeah, but the tower, the speaker is much better and louder. But there's no real difference in what you can do with them.
Okay.
And the Echo Show has good sound. Plus, it can allow your family to drop in and check on you to make sure you're okay.
And you can do drop-ins on these, but just with voice.
Then it doesn't work real well, but with the visual, the family can drop in visually and see if you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can do echo to echo
If
drop-in.
you want them dropping in.
Yeah.
She'll like it.
Well, you don't want to put it in your bedroom or bed. You just don't, in the living room.
And
And then
then
just be dressed in your living room.
the last thing that I'm going to talk about that you can do with an Echo or with any Alexa, and we were kind of talking about this before class, is you can connect it to other smart devices. So he was saying he connects this to his Ring, which is that, the doorbell thing. You can connect it to that, and then you can connect it to other things. The easiest, simplest way to get started with something like this is to purchase a smart plug. So this is a smart plug. I think it's about $15, $16. So you just plug it into the wall, and then you plug anything that you need to use into this. So what I have is a lamp that's plugged into mine. That's an unreachable lamp that I can't click on and off with a light switch, or it's too far for my hands. And so what I do is I plug this into the wall. I connect this through the app with my Alexa, I name it. So I name it light or coffee maker or TV. Whatever you have it plugged into, you give it a name. Whatever is simplest for you to say. And then you'll plug it in. You'll say, Alexa, turn on the light. And then what it does is essentially like plugging in and unplugging a cord. So this, when it's off, it stops the power coming in through the plug. When it's on, it's like plugging it in. So when I say turn it on, it turns it on. When I say turn it off. The reason that I specify that it's just like plugging and unplugging is because like for a TV, if you plug it into a TV, it's just like if you unplug and plug back in your TV each time. So it's going to take that setup time or whatever. Same with coffee maker and all of that stuff. They do make plugs and they make all types of things. They make light bulbs that are smart so you can just connect it to the light bulb. They make special coffee makers that are smart. They make special TVs that you can link. But this is just the most simple. It's just a plug, you plug it in, you connect it. They even now, this is the one that I used to recommend, it's the TP-Link. Amazon started making their own, which makes it so simple to connect. It takes like 5 seconds to add it and connect it, and then you just turn it on and off. I don't know how much theirs are. But then you can do, Alexa, turn on my light. Alexa, start my coffee. Turn on my TV. All of those things. So that's advanced, and once you start using your Alexa more, you can do all those types of things as well. So are there any things that you wanted to know if the Alexa could do that I can answer questions, or any questions you have about anything I talked about?
So how does that thing, do you have to tell Alexa that's a certain number or?
So actually how Alexa does it is, I will show you. So in your application.
Because I have one of these and I just haven't used it.
All right, let me show you exactly how it works. We'll have a little tutorial because there's only 4 of you. So, this menu that I was telling you about, open the menu, add device. This is a device.
Okay.
Add device. Gives you the options, right? So this is a light, or no, actually this is a plug. So it says echo, light, plug, switch, hub. There's so many things you can add. Other headphones, microwave, speaker. So you can add a million things. So this is a plug. I press plug. It asks you the brand. This one's called the TP-Link Casa. I press that. Then it walks you through step by step.
Okay.
So it says, I'm not going to do it because it's not connected, but it says download the application. You have to download this application on your app store. This is why the Amazon one's the easiest, because you don't have to do any of this. You just press add Amazon Light. You take a picture of it and it connects it. And that's all you do. But this one, these are the steps. You're going to download this application. You're going to take a picture of the barcode so it knows which one to connect to. You're going to plug this into your wall. You're going to go into the application. You're going to connect this to the same internet that this is connected to. And then you're going to name it. And then after you do that, you never have to touch it again, and you just say turn on and off.
There we go.
But the setup process is kind of taxing, especially if you have this exact same one.
I got people that do that.
Yeah, so I would have the people do that. Because I've had to connect and unconnect mine like 5 times because I had a new roommate move in and she loves to unplug it and just move it for me. And it takes a long time and it's really frustrating. So I would have people do that for me. But that's how you do it if you would like.
I get some 12-year-old to come and do it for
That's
me.
right, that's right. That's the way
Well,
it's getting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And some of the things don't work here because we have,
The
for
internet's
example,
connected.
the microwave oven doesn't work.
Oh, okay, the smart microwave.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But a lot of the more recently refurbished apartments have thermostats that can be controlled.
Very
That's very
cool.
useful. A few residents, none of you have TiVos. That's totally controllable by Alexa.
Yeah, that's really cool because a lot of people want to do the control of the remote, and there are only it really is only TiVo. And there's only a handful that you can control with Alexa. Otherwise, it gets so complicated. I tried to do it for one lady, and it was kind of like setting this up. I had to download an application, and then I had to sign into that, and then I had to connect it to the TV. And then, even then, to use it, she had to say, Alexa, go into the remote app. Alexa, open remote app. Alexa, open remote app, pause, show. Or she had to say 17 things to get it to move.
Sorry, I
Right.
don't know that, but I do have a skill in
think
my
so.
life.
But
So,
It's
yeah.
called quicker
Alexa,
mode.
stop.
Want to try it?
Okay. The most useful thing we have here is Alexa, ask my community what's for lunch.
Sorry, I don't know that,
She's not
but I
gonna
do
do
have a
that.
skill
I'm
in
not
my
plug
life.
her.
It's called quicker mode. Want to try it?
Yep, quick remote is the one that is not quick, so don't let her tell you that it's easy.
Okay, but anyway,
She
so
lies.
the Ask My Community, all of those apps, once the thing is set up with the community code, that's the one, that's the app you'll use the most.
Okay, good deal.
All right, well, if
thank
you
for
ever
all
have
that
any,
information.
yeah, sorry, I know it's overwhelming and a lot of
It
information.
is a lot, but I'll have to be.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have a second class on more specific things and we'll do like a tutorial where I'll hook up my iPad and I'll show you how to do each thing and what it's gonna look like, if you're interested in that. But yeah, just go home, test out some of these things, you can't mess it up. Unplug,
That's what Jack
unconnect,
said.
disconnect your credit card and then you can't mess it up because
Yeah.
you can mess it up by charging yourself a bunch of money for things you
Well,
don't
it was
want.
funny, because they played it, see, and then that was okay.
Yeah, and you were like, yay.
If you wanna continue with this, you get, well, it costs $3, well, we didn't wanna continue
Right.
it, but we didn't know how to cancel it, so we
Right.
told her to cancel it, but that didn't work, we had to call the company.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely disconnect your credit card, I would say. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can call us. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.